Welcome to Spot On Basics. I'm Rebecca Monet with Zorakle Profiles. Zorakle provides profiling tools for franchisors and franchise consultants that helps facilitate a right fit between a prospective franchisee and a franchise concept. The Zorakle tools are based on 7 statistically validated sciences, one of which we're going to talk about today, the 5 predictable stages of growth of a franchise organization. In this session, we're going to talk about stage 4, the empire franchisor. But before we dig into that, what is it that determines franchisee-franchisor fit? So if I was a franchisor, I recommend that you ask yourself this question. Does this prospective franchisee fit within our value systems? If you're a franchise consultant, you're going to be asking, does my prospective franchisee fit within this franchisor's value systems? Does he or she fit within this franchisor's stage of growth? Does he or she fit within this franchisor's culture? And does he or she have the ability and willingness to comply with this franchisor's systems and processes? Then and only then would I recommend you look at their skills to see if they have the raw talent to build the business, and if indeed those skills are in alignment with that franchisor's strategic plans. So we're going to talk about stage 4, the empire franchise system. So in our last session, we talked about a stage 3G, a franchise organization that would likely go out and find the investment dollars to then grow to the next level as a franchise system, to a true empire business. So when you think of a stage 4, most, not necessarily all, are publicly traded franchise companies that have gone out and gotten investment dollars. So again, we always want to pay attention to the 5 major markers that lets us know where this franchise system is in terms of their evolution. We want to look at the management style of that franchise system, the organizational structure of that franchise system, the extent of the formal systems, and of course the major initiatives and strategy of that franchisor. And then we want to look at the concept originator, the founder, and his or her involvement within that franchise system. So first off, the franchisor that is in a stage 4 is going to have extensive systems. There's going to be a whole lot of silos and people that are specialists within that silo. So you're going to have a silo for marketing, and a silo for training, and a silo for support, and a silo for legal, and a silo for compliance. And within each of that are employees that are doing a fabulous job within that particular silo. But also the systems and processes are very formal, and they are extensive. There's a very numbers-driven organization. So in stage 4, we can pretty much guarantee that this empire business has negotiated some exclusive supplier arrangements, whether that's for equipment or printing or some other kind of vendors or suppliers that are specific to that franchise system. They've likely negotiated some national accounts, and the franchisee is going to benefit from that. And they likely have an international presence if they are an empire business. So the major strategy that a stage 4 franchisor is focusing on is to dominate the market. They're going to grow through conversions, acquisitions, and mergers. So they're going to come to your town, and if you are a ma and pa that is in any way competing, they're going to talk you into converting. Or they're just going to buy companies that are in similar verticals, and they're going to grow market share by doing just that. So lots of benefits to a franchisee that comes into a stage 4. Naturally, this is a company that's been around for a while. They likely have hundreds, if not thousands, of franchisees. And so they have historically proven systems, strong support and training. And if, as I mentioned earlier, you are a competitor to them, there's some opportunities to merge and be acquired by a stage 4 franchise system. So there's great brand equity. You will know this brand because it's number 1 or number 2 or number 3 in any kind of a vertical. You're thinking the Subways and McDonald's and the fast food vertical as an example. So there is strong brand recognition and strong brand equity. And of course, one of the other wonderful benefits of a stage 4 is the leverageability of these exclusive vendor agreements and national accounts and all the other resources that are available to a much larger franchise organization rather than a smaller franchise organization. Now, of course, there are always challenges. I don't care where you are, there's going to be some challenges. And one of the challenges that a stage 4 franchisor is going to incur is because they've taken on so much and doing things corporately now, rather than expecting the franchisee to hunt and build relationships and provide the customer service. And there are so much now has been offloaded to the franchisor, and the franchisee is really more like a technician. So not necessarily a true business owner or franchisee, or for sure not an entrepreneur. So these costs are weighing heavy on a stage 4, and it could be showing up as poor shareholder value or poor profitability. Also, because their organization is so massive, both in the number of franchisees and the number of employees having to support those franchisees, oftentimes the communication is very difficult between the franchisee and franchisor. So franchisor may have lost a little bit of the finger on the pulse in stage 4, at least with his franchisees. And we're starting to see that the franchisees are indeed becoming a little bit more complacent. So one of the other challenges, of course, is due to the kind of just overarching red tape and bureaucracy, the stage 4 franchisor lacks some of the agility. They're not going to be as innovative or able to move the ship as quickly as what we saw in stage 1, 2, and 3. So we can't make decisions as fast or execute on a project as fast. There's a whole lot more bureaucracy involved. One of the other challenges, of course, was a stage 4, is there's a disconnect from the end user. So, and of course, this can turn into I'm not as aware of what my end user needs, therefore I'm not responding to it and having my products and services adapt to an ever-changing demographic or an ever-changing consumer out there. So this is another kind of thing, slow down a little bit. Even though the growth continues, there's no doubt about that. This is the dominant player, but we may be losing touch just a little bit. And as I mentioned before, that hunter instinct is not there like we saw in stage 1 and stage 2 for the franchisee. And let's look at kind of, again, this model, the Ellie Grenner and Neil Churchill model of size of organization and maturity of organization, and what will help them go to the next level of growth and what could be a deterrent. and prevent them from going to stage 5. As is to be expected, the way to grow in a stage 4 is through coordination. It's a logistical exercise when you are running likely many different headquarters all over the world. It's a logistical exercise. It's about coordinating all aspects of the deliverable of the products and services. And the better we are when we're in stage 4 in coordinating, in logistics, the faster we're going to grow. And obviously there could be some bottlenecks with that, whether it's language barriers or certain laws that might be different from one country to another, or simply the logistical nightmare of getting a product or service to that particular marketplace or training to that particular marketplace. So it is a pure coordination exercise in stage 4. And of course, the challenge is all the red tape involved, where this person has to sign off and this person has to vote because there's shareholders involved. So there is much more red tape when we get to a stage 4, and that could ultimately prevent a stage 4 from growing into a stage 5 franchise organization. So let's look at a couple examples. This is a candidate that scored in a stage 3 and stage 4. So this is a candidate that would be comfortable in an empire business. They appreciate the strong brand equity. They are individuals that likely aren't sales and marketing oriented. They're likely individuals that are more about customer service. So they're not going to go out in the market and get the customers. Instead, once those customers are driven to their doors, simply because it's such a big brand, they are going to be great at taking care of those customers. But if somebody scored like this, we would not want to put them in a stage 1 or stage 2 franchise organization. They're not going to be comfortable in that. They're going to be comfortable in a 3 or a 4. Now, obviously, this is another individual that scores beautifully in a stage 4 empire business. This could be someone that is running a retail location, but it's definitely a big brand. But it's also someone that might be a good buyer of a resale, which is typical of an empire business. This is also someone that will grow and feel comfortable when that franchisor moves to a hybrid, if they choose to move to a hybrid. So bottom line, it's all about the franchisee-franchisor fit, right? That's what Zorakle is about. It's about finding a franchisee that fits within that franchise system, because we know when they do, they're going to validate better, they're going to retain better, they're going to cost less to train and support, they're going to be happy little clams, and most importantly, they're going to embrace the systems and perform better if they're a good fit. So please stay tuned for stage 5. We'll do that in a separate training, but if you have questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to anyone here on the Zorakle team.